your best people don't leave because they are not good at what they do. They leave because they're not engaged. They're not excited about what they're doing.
And welcome. This is Utah Business Spotlight. I am Peter Anthony, your host. Man, like, subscribe, share. If you have negative comments, tell them to me. I want to hear them. If you have something positive to say, share. Today, I am here with one of my buddies. He is just running a phenomenal company, Lance Garvin. He's running Mojo with several partners. And I can't tell you enough about what they do to make any sense other than I've taken it. I love it. I've shared it. It's changing the way people do business. You're going to want to know a little about it. But man, I'm here with Lance Garvin. How are you, brother?
Hey, doing great. How are you doing, PA?
I am like, it's Halloween, man.
It's
fun. You know, I got beautiful people surrounding me. It's crisp outside.
That's right. I love your costume, by the way.
I know, right? It's called the chubby Italian guy who needs glasses.
I came as Casual Friday guy.
Exactly. There we go. I'm sure my daughters will put paint all over my face tonight before we go trick-or-treating for the last time, right? They're in high school.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I know a lot about Mojo. I know what you guys are doing. So we're going to get right into it to spotlight your business today.
Yeah, awesome.
There's so much going on in corporate right now. Changes with AI, they're really big. The way marketing is going, big changes. You're having lots of companies spike and have to expand. You're having lots of companies dip and having to determine, where am I? What's my role? What's important to me as an employee? What's important to me as an owner? These are some of the things that you guys are dealing with.
That's right.
Share a little about what Mojo is so everybody has a background. And then let's talk about how you're dealing with some of these problems.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks again for having me on today. We elevate the employee experience, and we do that. Everything that we do starts with a proprietary assessment called the motivators assessment. And there are lots of assessments out there. And really the assessment is a light bulb. All these assessments are light bulbs, and they're great. There are a lot of them out there that are super good. I mean, you've got some that have been around since the 50s
that
people still use, right?
Right?
Which is great. That's fine.
Our big, tall friend uses them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's one of them. And it's great to know what our personalities are, how we like to be communicated to, how we like to, or how we interact with other types of personalities. Mm-hmm. Additionally, strengths. It's great to understand what we bring to the table, what skills we do well. But we can be really good at something and not necessarily enjoy it or even hate it, causing disengagement. And when people leave organizations, it's usually your best people don't leave because they are not good at what they do. They leave because they're not engaged. They're not excited about what they're doing. And is it your underperformers that you have to worry about leaving? No, they'll stay with you as long as you let them, right?
I know.
Yeah.
And for somebody like myself, what you do is you supply a framework where I can take an underperformer and I can say, hey, man, here's what's really going on. And I can take an achiever and I can say, here's what we're adding to get even more out of your experience.
That's right. That's right. In fact, we call that manage to the one. So make sure that you understand this person individually. Make sure you know what drives them, what's important to them, what's getting them out of bed to bring their best self to work, and give them more of those things that are engaging to them.
And that's so important because, for many of I started in my late teens, early 20s, in the cosmetology industry. We went on to open a plethora of salons in New York, in Las Vegas. But our salons in New York won Modern Salon Magazine's Salon of the Year Award of Special Distinction.
Yeah.
And we went and I trained thousands of employees through Procter & Gamble, Wella Corporation, who got acquired by P&G, Estee Lauder. We just really were dialed in to, there's nothing more individual than a hairstylist. I was one. The reason is because we're trying to figure out how we can be us and still serve and make money and support our family and be all those things.
Right.
So what I love about what you guys were doing, and I wish I had known more about it in the 90s before we exited. But it really makes that communication. I think communication today is the key. We seem to be putting everything into AI and it spits out let's say some strategy or some framework.
Yeah.
But AI has never had to hire somebody. AI has never had to fire somebody. AI has never worried if the person was going to give us the check or not give us the check. AI has never had to deal with somebody who says, yeah, I'm going to pay you in 2 weeks, and then it's 6 weeks later. AI never has the emotional challenges. It's very flat. Not bad, but not what we need.
Yeah, 100%.
And what I think you share with your assessments and through what you've done is a tool that helps us build a framework to have better and stronger communications to get more results so people get their mojo back.
That's
or
right.
build it out.
That's right. In fact, one of the most meaningful parts of what we do with organizations is show them how to have these, what we call aspirational conversations using the motivators. You know, in these one-on-ones,
and you call it aspirational conversations.
That's right.
That's an amazing, everybody needs to start having aspirational conversations with their team.
Yeah. Well, they're remarkable. And like I mentioned, they are super meaningful to the people that do hold these and to the people they hold them with. So if you're my manager, rather than the typical meeting, okay, what are you working on? What are you up to? How can I help? How's the family every once in a while?
You can't help or you would have already. Right? Yeah. You haven't been supporting me for 10 years. I actually hate you and I hate this meeting.
Yeah, that happens more
than you know.
Yeah. And so these conversations go from being that to, all right, you know what, Lance, I know that friendship, family, and challenge and learning are some of your top motivators. How do we develop you into the person that you want to be over the next 12 to 24 months here at the organization? And how do we get more of those things into the work that you're doing?
So they're helping design their path.
That's right.
And you help them stay with that design because the assessment, which I took your assessment, it's actually quite incredible. Little creepy, but I really dug it, right? Because I'm like, oh man, you weren't supposed to know that.
Creepy by accurate, right?
But very accurate, very cool. I'm being playful because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
But what I loved about it was enlightening.
Yeah.
It enlightened me. And if someone had that information, I forwarded it to my wife. If someone has that information, they can become better communicators with me because they know my motivators.
That's right. That's right. They understand what drives you. You know, what's getting you excited about whatever it is that you're doing. It's funny you say that about that self-awareness, right? Because my personal experience was pretty revealing for me. I've been in sales my entire life. And I thought, okay, when I take this, and I took it when I was looking to come on board as head of sales for the organization. And I took it and I thought, man, money's going to come back as one of my top motivators. But I swear I don't do it for the money. But I'm a sales guy, so it's going to be money, you know? And I kind of went around in that circle for a minute. Thought, okay, well, let's take it. And when I took it, money came back as number 22 out of 23 for me. So there are 23 of them. It came almost dead last. You know?
Whoa.
And I thought, I knew it. And then my second thought was, they're not going to want to hire me. I'm supposed to head up sales and
I don't care about money.
Money's not a top driver for me. Now listen, I'll take the money, okay? I want to make good money. But my top motivators when I took it the first time were family, you know? Yeah. I want to provide a good living for my family. You know, that gets me excited. Friendship. Those two have stayed in my top 1 and 2, alternated back and forth, neck and neck over the last, 11 years. But friendship, the people that I work with, my clients, they become dear friends, a lot of them. I've had dinner at their homes. They've been to my home. There have been a lot of
been to your home.
What are we waiting for?
We've had many sushi lunches and it's been amazing. I love hanging out with you.
Likewise.
I think that your product is so influential in the way business is being done. I think this is the moment for Mojo. Yeah. I'm going to tell you why. As people are shifting, they don't know, they've never been introspective. They don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So if I have a path, now here's my big ask, and I don't know if it's available, but I hope that it is. I know and understand that so many people, this information's fantastic. if I'm a big corporation, obviously I'm buying in bulk. You're assessing my team.
Yeah.
Then you have a management situation. You have a sit down with the managers. Then you go through how to use the assessments and how to integrate them, how to run those meetings, which it saves them millions in HR long term. I mean, what you're doing for companies of, as little as 15, 20 people and above. I mean, what you do with a 100-person company is magic.
Yeah, thanks.
But I'm not a 100-person company anymore, right? So what you could have, I think that every day, right? But I still want to know: is it possible that me, the little guy, can get a little access to that assessment tool?
Absolutely. You know what? I'm glad you asked that, because if you go to our website, which is findmojo.com.
How did you get that URL? Findmojo.com. That's worth $1 billion by itself. Findmojo.com. I love that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we paid a premium for it, but it was worth it.
For sure.
So, but yeah, if you go there is a freemium version currently. I don't know how long we'll have that on there, but there's a freemium version where you can get a couple of your motivators, and you don't get the full 40-plus page report, but you do get a little bit of insight.
Okay, cool.
And if you want to upgrade it? Yeah, you can upgrade it, actually. So yeah.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah. Because I've taken the big version.
Yeah.
And it was revealing. Now, for many of you know that I traveled with Tony Robbins for years. I met Tony in 1983. I was a platinum partner in his organization for 4 years. Worked with everybody on the leadership teams and the senior leadership. It was really fun. But he is a DISC guy.
Yeah, he is.
Right. And the DISC assessments, which I've taken many times and I gave to all my teams because I didn't know about Mojo. The difference between DISC and Mojo is the difference between day and night. I'm going to say it differently. The difference between DISC and Mojo: DISC puts me in the early morning, but the fog is still there. So I know the path, but I can't see it because it's foggy. It's making me memorize all these terms that I'm not familiar with. I'm a high C. I'm a high I. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
So it makes you have to learn a new language. I hate learning new languages. What I loved about Mojo is it speaks to me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're passionate. Dude, you have compassion. You love family. Whoa, okay, cool.
No, I love that.
It's so easy and simple, but so deep at the same time.
Well, I appreciate bringing that up, because something that we absolutely live by is a phrase: simple wins the day.
Simple wins the day.
Simple wins the day.
Love that.
If it's complex, it requires a longer runway. It requires more resources. The chances of success are a lot less likely. Yeah. So we want it to be easy, and by design, we make everything that we do easy.
And at the incubator, we say simple, fun, and memorable. Those are the 3 rules. And if you get to memorable, go back to simple, right? Because you can only remember those things which are simple.
That's right.
And you only want to remember those things which are fun.
That's right.
So the 2 major rules: simple and fun. I love that. Your company's doing it. All right, here's my last question. The future, right? A lot of people are worried about AI. A lot of people are insecure, especially that 47 to 55-year-old. They get, there's a statistic: if you're over 50 and you lose your job, you'll never get hired again in this economy. So, and in this moment, what's your company doing that looking to the future, looking at the way to market, the way to position? Where do you see the future, and how are you preparing for it?
Well, there are a lot of people out there that are social creatures, right? I'm a social creature. You're a social creature. There's that human element that we need, that we crave. I mean, we saw during the pandemic what an absence of that social feature did for so many people, including me,
and our children.
And our children too. Yeah, even more so. I mean, in schools, I mean, that was tough. That is a social environment if there ever was one, right? Sure. And so we lean on the human element side of things. Yeah, AI can be great in so many ways. I use AI, you use AI, but There's certain pieces of AI that will never replace a relationship like this. And the motivators assessment helps us identify how do we strengthen these relationships? How do we know more about ourselves and more about each other? And how do we keep the people that we want to keep on board? How do we motivate them? How do we get them engaged with what we're trying to do? Well, we do that by understanding what it is that gets them excited and what's important to them and focusing on that.
I love that. So I'm going to give you a little piece of marketing advice for your company.
Love it.
Because I agree with you. One of the things that I think is important that most of you aren't doing is understanding who is your avatar, how do they break down. If you were to take the motivators assessment and then look through it and get the premium version, don't skimp out, it's not a lot of money, but now you have a framework, because if I want to do business with people who are like me, and people who are like me want to do business with me, well, doesn't it make sense that I should know who I am?
Absolutely.
Right? And how I set up my company, I see so many people, they set up the marketing in a way that is indicative or fundamental to the strategy. So I'll take Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson has a formula. It works. I can tell you how often it works. It works 6 times out of 100. I know that it works 6 times out of 100 because his top 6% he celebrates, but that's because those people they're a reflection of Russell. Russell, if you would have spent more time listening to Tony and implementing what Tony's doing, instead of trying to grow your company, you would understand that the bottom would move to the top if you understood them. And if they understood themselves, because what we so often do is try to take that square peg and shove it into a round hole. And it doesn't work. So one of the things I think would be great for you is to position this as a marketing tool. Like every company should have an assessment of their leadership team, because that's exactly who that company is going to start to attract. And if you want to attract people outside of your leadership team, right? Like let's say I was leading and I'm an introvert. I have a ton of money. I built a great company and it's not growing. I built a great facility. It's not growing.
Yeah.
Well, what's a facility do? Whatever it does. It's a hair cutting salon, right? Well, I was an introvert. I owned a salon. I had to become extroverted in order for the salon to move forward.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know I was an introvert, I actually didn't think about that. I'm like, I'm not an introvert, right? Well, there you go. So, man, it was wonderful having you on today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, brother.
Any excuse to get together with you is great for me.
Well, we would like to do a couple of things. For everybody who knows, every Wednesday, we're doing an event here at Bad Bet Production. It's in the evening. It's from 6 to 8. I'd love for you to be a guest speaker, man.
I'd love to do it.
I'd love to have you come down and, I kind of, I strong-armed him. I'm telling him on camera, but we could cut that part out. So he could have said no. But having you come down and really share and let everybody see what an assessment's like and getting some of that information, that is your strength for marketing. If you don't know who you are, you'll never, and you have to understand that when you're putting your strategies together, because it determines on how the people you need to hire will work with you.
That's right.
So there you go, man. This is
awesome.
Business Spotlight. We're in Utah. We're spotlighting business. You guys are a national company, so you based here in Utah, but it's a national company. Look it up, right? And what is it? Find Mojo.
Findmojo.com.
Findmojo.com. Get your assessment. Leave a like. Leave a subscribe. Leave a comment. Share this. Stop effing about. Get your marketing done.